What's going on, y'all? Tane with the Digital Realty team and Freedom Growth Partners of LPT Realty here. And today, we're gonna be going over exactly how I made over $200,000 my first year as a full-time agent in a state where I knew nobody. But before we dive into this, guys, please smash the like button if you find this information valuable, and as well, please consider subscribing, all right? We do this for absolutely free, and this helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. I know a lot of y'all are watching that are not subscribed yet, so do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and smash that like button. And comment down below on any questions that you may have that I could potentially help answer. All right, let's get into it. So I got my real estate license up in New York towards the end of 2018, maybe the beginning of 2019, not too sure of the exact time frame, but I was a part-time agent at that time. I did about 2 to 3 transactions with my brother, who was also an agent in New York. And what I did, I ended up actually moving down here to Virginia in April 2019, got my license and became a full-time real estate agent in August 2019. Before that, I was actually a full-time employee at an IT company, and I did start some side gigs, trying to start up a business, did some digital marketing for real estate agents, and that's actually what made me fall in love with real estate. What I've noticed through coaching some agents, and as well seeing other successful agents, I've noticed that a lot of successful agents came from the service industry or customer service industry. The job that I had prior to this helped me a ton, all right? And that was at a IT company. I was the director of support. So I was, I started off from the lowest totem pole being customer service rep and worked my way up to director of support at an IT company. And what the traits that really helped me a ton is, one, being able to troubleshoot problems. And as a business owner, you need to be able to solve people's problems. And then two, being able to have empathy and give good customer service. And I was dealing with at that time people calling in with their problems, complaining, upset. So I was very good at handling that. And I think that brought in a lot into my business, along with all the other jobs that I've had before in the past. And if you're, I've done physical labor, I've done door-to-door marketing, I was in the Marine Corps. So all those things definitely helped me get to having a really successful first year. When I got my license down here in Virginia in August 2019, the first thing I did was I hired a coach because I had no idea what I was doing. So my recommendation to anyone out there that's just first starting off, get a coach or mentor. Coaches you would pay for, and at that time I paid about $1,000 something for the coach, and that was the best ROI I've ever had. And if you can't afford that, get a mentor, work under somebody, join a team, whatever it may be, so they can mentor you and teach you the way. If you have a good leader, you will be able to succeed at a high level, even if you're on a team and you're on splits, right? Because I'm helping agents do that right now, where they're gonna be able to make over 6 figures even on a split. So it's completely doable. You just need to be really coachable. That's the number one important thing. Go find somebody, a coach or a mentor, and be coachable. Because one thing that I've seen in this industry, people say they're coachable until they start getting criticism and they start getting coached, and then they're no longer coachable, and until they start running through some problems in the business. My first year when I did 214,000, 33 deals, I actually was not even aiming for that. My goals weren't that high at the time. I just wanted to break the 100,000 mark, because coming from a W-2 job where I was making, I think it was 55,000 or 52,000, one of those, I can't remember exactly, 52, 55,000 a year, working ridiculous hours, I just wanted to break that 100,000. And I was able to successfully do that by being led the proper way by my coach at the time. The lead source that I was working was for sale by owners. That was really the only one I was working at the time. And I'll share with you in another video nowadays what I'm working with, because for sale by owners definitely helped me my first year, but there are some things that I regret not doing my first year. The second thing that helped me succeed really at a high level was understanding the basic principles of the law of average and the compounded effect. So what I see a lot of agents struggle with is they're prospecting, right? Whatever type of lead sources they may be prospecting. They'll do it for 1 hour, one day, 2 hours another day, half an hour the next day, 1 hour the following day, right? That's not consistent. In the beginning, what you have to realize is the advantage that you have as a new agent is you have all the time in the world, especially if you're full-time, right? So with all that time, you need to keep your job really simple, and your only job in the beginning is really to just go out and find clients. So literally, if you treat it like a 9-to-5 job, it will pay you a lot more than a 9-to-5 job. But a lot of people, they come into this industry looking for free time, which they end up getting, but in return that ends up hurting them, because that 9-to-5 time that they have to realistically go look for a business, they're not doing anything. You know, they're not doing revenue generating activity, which is talking to people. So realistically, if you just kept this stupid simple, you're either on an appointment or looking for an appointment all day long, you're going to find business, especially if you do that for a solid 3 to 6 months period. You're going to be stumbling across listings. It took me, I would say, about 3 to 4 months to get my first for sale by owner. But I actually started prospecting before I actually moved down here to Virginia, and just to get my feet wet. And I understood that concept of putting in the work and treating it like an actual 9-to-5 job. And after hours, I was doing Uber and Lyft, doing my side gig, running Facebook ads for agents, things that was generating income after hours, right? And really, if you understand the concept, that's going to help you a ton, because a lot of people overcomplicate this. You just need to be consistent with it and continuously looking for clients during your working hours as a real estate agent. And what a lot of agents fail to see is it does take some time, because the pipeline maturity aspect, right? Not everybody's ready to sell right away, but they will be eventually down the road. You just need to be able to put in the work to talk to as many people as possible. My goal on a monthly basis was talking to at least 300 people, which in return, within 1 year time frame, ended up to 33 deals and $214,000 in GCI. All right, and you'll see this on the screen right here, just to show you that, there's some people out there that lie about their numbers and whatnot, but you can just look me up and you'll see this is real stats. So I hope if you're listening to this, just understand that in the beginning, it's gonna feel like the stuff that you're doing every day is not doing much, but it will. And especially if you're a new agent, you need to just focus on getting in front of people, talking to people and getting in front of people. The first 20, 30 appointments I went on, I wasn't even trying to get any sort of listings right there, because I just needed to get comfortable with being in front of a stranger in their house. And that's all I worked on at first. It's baby steps, all right? And that's the baby steps gonna help you grow. And I just took a ton of action. If you take enough action and you trust the process and you understand the law of average, and as well the compounded effect of the daily activities you do every day, your skills can be literally subpar, and you're still gonna get some business. I've seen agents that doesn't have the best sales skills, but they take massive action to the point where they're getting traction and getting consistent business. I've also seen the reverse, where agents will have sales skills from past prior jobs, whatever they may have, but they lack action, and they'll see success in the beginning, but in the long run, they start falling off. So just understand, you need to take massive action. Regardless if you're a part-time, full-time agent, you have all the time in the world. Stop making excuses, just take massive action. With that being said, even though you're taking massive action, you're gonna wanna improve on your skills over time, all right? So what I did on a daily basis, I had a role-playing partner, I would role-play with them, but before I got a role-playing partner, I just role-played with my wife in scenarios, on calls, on appointments, things like that. So just this way I can keep improving my skills. I did that literally every single day. And nowadays I do it once a week with my team, but that's definitely something I recommend. Is you're gonna wanna role play, because the learning is definitely in the doing, but as you're running across these opportunities, you don't want to mess them up either and keep having to learn on the fly. So you're going to want to find a role-playing partner. Otherwise, just record videos and rewatch yourself. See how it sounds, right? Because a lot of people, they're worried about following scripts because they don't want to sound scripted, but they only sound scripted because they're not saying it enough times, whether it's in role-playing or actually live, and that's the only reason. But if you hear the professionals out there and they sound super natural, I sound natural even though I'm going off of a script, right? Because of the fact that I've done it so many times that it's became natural, and you can have the same effect as well if you practice it and say something enough times. So in my first year in real estate, I did not have a CRM. I just used my Mojo Dialer, and what I did was I had a whiteboard where I kept track of all the leads that I was having a conversation with, and I was still able to do the amount that I did. But I do regret not having a CRM because of the fact that if I had a CRM, I would have converted a lot more business. So for the agents out there that are listening, don't get stuck on what CRM you're specifically using. Just use what the company's providing you and any of the automations that you may potentially be able to put into place, such as automated text, automated emails, automated market reports on a monthly basis, right? Because that compounded over time will actually generate you business as well. So that is definitely one of the reasons why I regret not having a CRM. But for the agents out there that don't have a CRM that's provided by the company, I use Chime. I'll drop a link down below in case if any of y'all want to check it out. It is something that's a little pricey, so it's going to be more for the agents that's got some funds available on a monthly basis. But there are cost-efficient CRMs out there as well. But if you don't want to use a CRM, I know some people prefer a folder system. I had folders set up as well. I had a folder and a whiteboard system. So I had a folder for each month, and I would carry over the leads into the following month, depending on how the conversations would go. And I would just X out the leads that did not convert, or they listed, they sold, or whatever the case may be. But definitely highly recommend getting organized. Whatever works in your way. I've seen agents use binder systems as well. That's something that you might want to consider. Try to get organized. You might want to have a folder system for new leads that you're calling, and then once you have a conversation with them, what type of folder will they go into? Hot, cold, warm, right? Things like that. Or a monthly folder that you can continue following up with. But again, if you have the option for a CRM from your brokerage, use it, because I had the option at the time, which was kvCORE, and unfortunately I did not utilize it like a dummy. Now I'm in Chime, provided by LPT Realty, so that's what I use, and that's for completely free. I truly believe that in order to break your 100K mark, you can literally get that done by just sheer hard work. All right, I think you could also push up to the 200K mark by just sheer hard work. I mean, I'm a perfect example of it. My business plan was working off of 100,000, and I just put in so much effort that it turned into the 200,000+. However, I do recommend that maybe you can try to figure out, your key metrics. Keep track of the data of, how many people you're talking to, how many appointments you're going on, how many appointments you've met, right? And how many people are converting, because that's going to help you determine where you need to work on things, right? So if you're talking to a ton of people, but you're not able to get on appointments, then that means you might need to work on your appointment setting ratio. If you're going on a ton of appointments, but you're not converting, maybe you need to work on your conversion, right? And I'll put a link down below to our business planning video where you're actually able to determine how many contacts you need to hit based on the numbers that you're looking to accomplish financially. So check that out. I think it'll put you one step ahead of a lot of other agents, knowing that you're hitting certain key metrics, because everybody has different goals, right? You might not want to hit 100,000, maybe you want to hit 50,000. If that's the case, then you're going to plug in these numbers to be able to determine what you need to hit, the key metrics you need to hit in order to get to that 50,000. So take a look at that video, take some action on it as well. But outside of that, I think, again, based off past experience, you can definitely break that 100,000 with sheer hard work. One thing to consider as you form this business plan, you truly don't need that many lead sources to get past the 100,000 mark. Like I told you guys, I did it with for sale by owners. It doesn't have to be specifically that. You can do that with expireds. You can do that with circle prospecting. You can do it with online leads. There's a lot of ways you can do that just to get past the 100,000 mark. Once you start going past that range, right, past the 200,000 mark, then you're gonna need to start getting other lead pillars as well, which we can cover in another video. But if you've got goals of just getting to that 100,000 mark or 200,000 mark, just know you can do that with literally one lead source, but you need to put in a ton of work. As you start going down this path of chasing your real estate dreams, do not forget that 95% plus of your business is going to come from the follow-up. All right, I say this because a lot of people start getting into this business and completely forget that because for whatever odd reason, and then they get discouraged and then they don't have any confidence because they're not getting the business. And confidence is everything. So please remember, 95% plus of your business is going to come from the follow-up. So do not stress it if you're not getting anything on the initial call. And if you need somebody to mentor you through that process, I'd love to chat. You know, you can click on the link down below. I'm offering free mentoring through the partnership with LPT Realty. And if you have any questions at all whatsoever, please drop it down in the comment. Most importantly, if you found this information valuable, please smash that like button and please consider subscribing because I see a lot of y'all that are watching this video are not subscribed yet. So do me a solid, subscribe because it'll help out with the YouTube algorithm and I'll be dropping more and more valuable content to help y'all out.